What's up, Rasmanites? Today, as you can see by the title, I'm proudly here to review for all of you the perks of being a wallflower on the Rasman's reality. That's right, I'm so excited to be among what I believe will be the first on YouTube to be able to review this film, other than the few who may have gotten lucky enough to see it cinematically. I pre-ordered this on Amazon, and the only reason you didn't see the review go up yesterday, because as most of you probably know, yesterday was release day. The reason this came a day late is because since this was my first order, I didn't know that your pre-order doesn't signify payment with Amazon, and Amazon doesn't actually take your payment out until they have the item that they're going to ship to you. So when I got a message Sunday saying that my debit card had been declined, like they couldn't process it, I figured out that that was the reason, because I needed to actually have the $17.99 in my account when they were ready to ship it. So just a little precautionary tale to those of you who've never done a pre-order before. Make sure that when you pre-order something, you know what the release date is, so that you have the money for your pre-order before you're due to receive it. Otherwise you'll get it a day late like me. Thankfully, my mom was made aware of the situation and helped me out by sticking the money back into my bank account quickly. So it was only a day late. It could have been much worse. And the other thing I have to tell you about, because you can clearly see it via the slipcover and Emma Watson's ruined face, is that the ultraviolet sticker that you'll get on this release is really stuck on there good. So if you're like me, and you like to take your slipcover stickers off to make them look all nice and pretty, be really careful with this one, because it left so much sticker residue that I had to take rubbing alcohol to it. So between the sticker residue and the rubbing alcohol, to get rid of as much of the sticker residue as possible, it tore off a piece of the cover, and Emma's beautiful face is ruined. So I am very upset, and hope that somehow, some way, I can get a replacement slipcover for this, because not only is Emma one of my favorite actresses of all time, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to see this film, along with a bunch of my friends who know the kind of impact that A Walk to Remember had on me emotionally, telling me that I had to see this film because they had read the novel and knew that I hadn't yet, and they knew that I was more inclined sometimes to watch a film before I read a novel if I didn't know anything about the novel. So everybody and their dog was telling me, you've got to see the perks of being a wallflower, that knows me really well. And I'm really glad that I was able to pre-order this Blu-ray, and it was definitely not a regret to be the only thing I picked up dipping into my salary while I'm saving up for computer, because this was absolutely amazing. But yes, I am very upset about the slipcover and hope that I'm able to replace it somehow, some way. But let me quickly show you the back. It's the same case art, so I'm not going to bother showing you the case, but I will show you the actual Blu-ray disc, because I think it's really cool that they use the typewriter font all the way through to match the font of the book. So here's the mutilated front one more time. Well, not one more time, you'll see it plenty throughout the review, but yeah, mutilated front, And then here's the back. Another beautiful shot of Emma. They know who their moneymaker was for this film, don't they? And here's the disc itself. Feel free to pause the video and take my ultraviolet digital copy. I have absolutely no use for it. So first person to get it, it's yours. And you'll get to experience a phenomenal film, trust me. Alright, so from this point forward is going to be the beginning of the actual review. So if you care about spoilers, please stop watching and come back when you've seen the film, because this is a film I have to delve into and I have to talk about because it left such an emotional impact on me. So to save time, I'm not going to pause or anything. I'm just going to go straight into it. So last warning, come back to the review later if you haven't seen this film and care about spoilers. The Perks of Being a Wallflower is the story of Charlie, played by Logan Lerman, who is a freshman in high school and has always viewed himself as an outcast and really just doesn't fit in anywhere. And you see him really struggling with seeing things in his mind. And what he sees is a vision of his Aunt Helen, who passed away. And we don't know why this death in the beginning of the film, we don't know why this death has left such an emotional impact on him and messed him up so badly. But we'll figure that out as time goes on. The only thing we see in the very, very beginning is that he and his Aunt Helen were obviously very close, which might be reason enough to be traumatized, but it wasn't. So you begin to really sympathize with Charlie right from the very beginning and his plight with being a freshman in high school and not being accepted in the first place. And he's in shop class and he sees this guy named Patrick, who the shop teacher calls some nickname to. I honestly can't remember the nickname, but the shop teacher calls him a nickname. He doesn't like it. He's like, my name is Patrick, you call me Patrick or you call me Nothing. To which the shop teacher then replies, okay, Nothing. So that sticks throughout the whole film, people calling Patrick Nothing. And Charlie feels sorry for Patrick, who is played by Ezra Miller. And he strikes up a friendship with Patrick at the football game, the high school football game, has enough guts to sit down next to him and talk to him, and he's like, thanks for not calling me Nothing, and they strike up a conversation. And then Logan's life changes forever because he meets Sam, who he thinks in the beginning is the girlfriend of Patrick, but he finds out that it's Patrick's stepsister. And it is love at first sight, and from that point on, it's about the struggle and finally the guts to admit his feelings for Sam, for Charlie. And throughout the entire story, it develops into more than that, because not only do you get to know Logan's character of Charlie, but you get to know Emma's character of Sam and just how much Sam and Charlie have in common. Sam has always had low self-esteem. Sam used to mess around with guys who didn't treat her right, and she really finds a kindred spirit in Charlie, and they were meant to be together. But there's this other girl who hangs out in the group that gets a crush on Charlie, so it kind of derails the two of them getting together. But Sam and Patrick and their struggles are so evident, and Patrick's struggle becomes even more of a focal point because you find out that Patrick is gay. And where his struggles come up is that he is in love with a guy who is a former teammate of Charlie's brother on the football team. And naturally, as you might expect, because he is an athlete on the high school football team, he struggles with allowing his homosexuality to come to the forefront, and he ends up calling Patrick a faggot at one point. And this all comes after the fact that he and Patrick were caught together by his father. So Patrick is just an emotional wreck. It leads to a ginormous fight with everyone involved, and Charlie comes to the rescue and actually saves the life of Patrick. So Patrick is really struggling with all this, and he ends up taking Charlie out for a couple nights while Emma's character, Sam, is dating this other guy that she has no business with, and he ends up kissing Charlie. So poor Charlie is just so messed up in the head. He's an outcast. He's got this trauma from his past that we're slowly beginning to get more and more clued into as the film goes on. And now he's got the brother, his best friend of the woman that he absolutely adores with every fiber of his being, kissing him on the mouth. So poor Charlie could not be more traumatized if it was humanly possible. But it all works out in the end because, of course, Patrick apologizes to Charlie because he knows that Charlie, much like myself, is straight as an arrow. So there's not going to be anything that happens there. And Charlie just accepts the fact that Patrick is an emotional wreck. And there's a bunch of things that happen. It's a very long film, and you really get to know these characters. And I'm going to try and say the least amount that I can. I'm going to basically try and stop here because the characters' emotional journeys is just something that you have to experience for yourself. So what I will tell you is that it all does work out in the end. Charlie and Sam do get together. They do fall head over heels in love, and despite the fact that Sam goes away to college because she's a senior when Charlie was a freshman, they do stay in love with each other, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have happened. And the trauma we find out about finally is that Aunt Helen molested Charlie. So that has what's been that. So that is what has messed up Charlie's brain so bad, because he blames himself for Aunt Helen's death because Aunt Helen went to get his birthday present, and it turns out part of his birthday present the night that she died was getting molested. And the fact that Charlie's birthday is on Christmas Eve, which means that his birthday gets neglected. All those things were building up, and when Sam and Patrick graduated and he lost Sam, especially after finally being able to admit to her that he loves her and that it was reciprocated, he just loses his mind and ends up in the mental hospital, and that is how we find out that he was molested. So now you can see why this was the most emotionally powerful film that I have seen since The Hunger Games, and this completely floored me. I expected this to be a film that was more targeted toward the female audience and a film that was more about love than anything else. And while it is about love, it is much more about coming of age and overcoming adversity, and the fact that anyone can be strong if given the opportunity to be so. Because Charlie, Sam, and Patrick overcome everything in their lives, and they remember the two most important lessons in this entire story, which are: we accept the love that we think we deserve, but in a right moment, in the moment, in this moment, we are infinite. So I highly recommend checking out Perks of Being a Wallflower. It is a 5-star film for me all across the board. I cannot wait to listen to the 2 commentary tracks because the director of this, Stephen Chbosky, is actually the author of the book as well. So I'm really curious to listen to both of the commentary tracks. I really can't wait to hear all the actors talk about this wonderful film. That's the only thing I didn't get into. I did get to watch all the deleted scenes, which are fantastic, and some of them should have been left in the film. Some of them you can tell they were easy cuts, and the commentary, watching them again, was really interesting on deleted scenes. There are 3 dailies on here, which were fantastic to see come to light and talked about. And then there's 1 featurette on here called The Perfect Summer, which talks about how perfect the cast was and why the author waited so long to bring this perfect novel to screen and how wonderful it turned out. So as I said, I could not recommend Perks of Being a Wallflower anymore if I tried. 5 stars, must see. Go and pick up this film. You will not regret it. Don't forget to check out the official sponsors of this program and channel, Handi Enterprises Inc., your productivity and communication specialist. Don't forget that all you have to do is like, follow, or subscribe to all of their social media just once, and you help the company grow, and you help me out, because as soon as I can get 200 unique people on each of the social medias, I get a $200 bonus. And there's also my full screen referral link down below, and if you'd like to become a full YouTube partner and sign on through my full screen link and you meet the requirements, please feel free to do so. This is reality according to the Razman, and Razman style is not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.